Assalamu alaikum. So I will start with the story. This is Reem. Like most of the children in Oman, she went to school by a school bus. After the drop-off, she was left alone in the bus. A 9-year-old girl left alone in a school bus in Oman's hot weather for 50 minutes. Just imagine that. Luckily, she was found later and rushed to a hospital. Reem survived, but other children were not as lucky as Reem and did not make it. This sort of incident actually happens 3 times a week. It's not only in Oman, it's in other GCC countries, it's a global issue. And school transportation fatalities increasing every year. In Oman, we have at least a single death every year because children get left behind in school transportation. I would like to ask a question. Have you ever used a school bus? Anyone? So, still using. So an ordinary school bus, it took them 50 minutes to realize that Reem was missing. Do you know why? Because they do manual check every day. They count the students, they still use pen and paper every day to mark the attendance in school transportation. That's why we need technology. We need a revolution in school transportation that will make sure that our children are safe. In a smart bus, Reem would be out in under 3 minutes because everything is done automatically. Attendance will be marked, children will be identified, buses will be tracked, and drivers will be monitored. So the solution is technology. Technology will save lives. And as we saw before, a man was saved from a lion just using technology in one of the talks. So why technology will save life? Because we as engineers and developers, we need to be in this field, in the field of school transportation and make it better. When I was back in Australia working as R&D engineer for one of the IoT companies, we were developing signs for streets. And I was thinking, I saw a school bus over there. There is like stop sign, there's automatic signs everywhere. We didn't have this in Oman. When I came back to Oman, I wanted to contribute to this society and solve this problem of school transportation. And that's why we founded a complete solution to make school transportation safe and smart. Let's look at the evolution of transportation. So if you look at the chart, you can see that cars were invented back in 1862. And since then, there was an evolution in transportation, including cars. But if we look at the buses, the school buses over here, so we have 3 images of school buses over a span of more than 40 years. So I will ask you a question. I want you to point to the oldest bus. Just say a number. So what is the oldest bus in this picture? 3. I can hear 3. So this is over a span of more than 40 years of development in school transportation. And this is what we have. So most of the answers are 3. So these are the actual answers. So who got the right answer? Anyone?
You said 3, right?
Okay. No one got number 2 as the oldest bus? Okay. So, sorry. This is actually a trick. And the reason why you didn't realize, because there was no development in school transportation. These are the real numbers. So the oldest bus is number 2, as you can see here. So if I ask you about a BlackBerry or a Nokia, would you get the right answer? Of course, yes, because you care. Why we don't care about school transportation? Why we don't contribute to the revolution of school transportation? This is what we have. And if I ask you about the past 10 years, you can name all the mobile phones, you can name all the consumer electronics, because all the funds and development going into that market, but not school transportation, unfortunately. But there are some inventions. This is what we have. This is the extent of innovation that we had in school transportation. But they are not practical invention. Maybe this one, especially in these days where we have rains everywhere in Oman. So the moral of the story, we need more development in school transportation. We need to define this as a logistics problem. there's a logistics problem needs to be solved. And when you tackle a logistics problem, you should ask questions. Start from the first principle theory. You need to ask, the first question is what? What we are transporting? We are transporting children, so we need to care. And how we are transporting them? In buses. In the same buses we used to transport them in the past 40 to 50 years. And where? In our roads. And we need to make sure that our roads and drivers are safe as well. And you start with a why question. Why are we doing this? Because we need to move them from A to B. Maybe in the future there will be house schooling or homeschooling, and we don't need school transportation. But for now, we need to answer these questions. If we don't answer them, we will end up transporting the wrong shipment with the wrong vehicle, like this one, for example, or this one. This is still innovative, but it's not solving the issue that we have. That's why we need to define this school transportation as a problem and come up with a solution. So the solution, I will walk you through a use case or a case study of a digital infrastructure that will make sure that school transportation is safe. So in digital infrastructure, you start with electronics. These electronics will be used in our three questions: children, buses, and roads. So we need to make them smarter and safer. And through this technology, we will make sure that every child entering the bus is identified, either through face recognition. There's an actual solution in one of the exhibitions that we had as a team. So using face recognition to recognize the kids entering the school or the bus, and also using a smart tag that will transmit the location of the child. So you can detect every child getting in and getting out of the bus. So you answered the first question, is what? So children will be identified. And how? All the buses can be turned into smart buses, can be tracked by parents and schools. This is very valuable for both schools and parents. And also, you need to monitor the driver. Make sure the driver is not using a mobile phone and also using the seat belt. With this technology, with the Edge AI, you can also detect the usage of mobile phone inside the bus and also a seat belt. This is proven technology using Edge AI technologies in electronics, and it's already implemented in our schools today by our team. So this sort of technologies will transform school transportation into a better and safer transportation. With these technologies, you need also a dashboard to monitor all the buses and the kids every day. This is a sample of the dashboard that we developed that will track all the buses, track all the kids every day, and will give you instant notification if there's an emergency in any bus. These all in real time and implemented in Oman. It's one of the first countries to implement such a technology. And I would like to showcase a short video of the power when you have the IoT, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence working together. This video is a demo from Kuwait, one of the schools that we made their infrastructure digital and smart. So the video will show, definitely not to tsunami. So the video will show you the route of the bus with the timeline. As you can see here, this is live from one of the dates. So you can see the route of the bus and the location of the houses. This is in real time. Under 5 seconds, you can determine the location of all houses, the names of the children on the left, and the timing of pickups and drop-off. And this is the power of technology. You can extract all this information under 5 seconds. The second video will show you all the buses. That's the one. All the buses under 10 seconds, the movement of all buses, all the houses, and the kids getting in and getting out. Now imagine, this is the technology that we have today. So imagine what we can do in the future and how the school transportation would look like. Thank you.